What's going on YouTube? It's Donnie Pialte. So we have been getting rain like non-stop out here, and I really wanted to do some knife reviews, but it's just hard. I'm gonna do it anyway. I've got the Hibben 3 throwing knife. Now I did a part 1 video of this where it was just throwing, throw. This thing, if you look at my shorts, I have done, I don't even know how many throws with this so far. An amazing throwing knife. Could it be a little better? Sure. But does it work just fine? Oh. So this isn't going to be a throwing video though. This is going to be, but does it knife video. If you are stuck and all you have is a throwing knife, is it going to knife? So unlike most throwing knives, I have to say one good thing is this one comes with, I'm dropping stuff, a leather sheath. It's a Hibben style leather sheath. Little scrubby stuff on the back because I'm telling you the knife is dirty because I've been throwing it. Hibben. It's a good sheath, just a nice sheath. You never see a throwing knife with a sheath like this. Can't even speak. So let's get into it once and for all. So it is 3CR13. A lot of people are going to balk at that, but I've been throwing this constantly. I've had misses. I've had, awkward hits where it landed at an angle and it could have been. No bending, no breaking. Everything is dead true. This thing, I throw hard. I mean, I wing this thing. Go to my shorts. I'll actually put the link to the short in this video. I threw a 36-foot throw with this knife. 36 feet. So definitely, it's worth checking out, man. This knife is definitely worth checking out. I mean, I have got stuff all over it. Now, I do feel a little thing right here, and I'm not sure if it's in the steel or something just hanging on the edge, but I think I may have like a little tiny chip from hitting something really hard, and I'm telling you, I have been chucking this thing around. So I do have like a little tiny little thing right there, right? And that's it. So normally what I like to do is when I test a video for its knifing purposes, I like to do it out of the box. I was so excited about throwing this one, I couldn't wait. Then I started throwing it some more, and then a little more, and a little more, and a little more. So this is 15 inches overall. The blade itself is a 9¼ inch clip point. And that's really all there is for statistics on this. That was quick and easy. So let's just go see if it knifes. Come on. All right, so normally I'd say let's take this thing out in the sunshine. There is no sunshine, but at least there's some daylight. So you get to see, I mean, it's dirty and beaten. Hopefully the edge is still enough of an edge to where we can get some kind of adequate testing. But people who are buying this maybe aren't just buying it to throw. Not everybody's me where I buy everything to throw. Some people might just want a knife out of this thing. So let's find out. All right, so let's do some of the standard testing. Now I'm just going to do 4-foot drops. Is it going to drop straight? Absolutely. Is it going to have good bite? Absolutely. That's what this thing is made for. We'll do a couple hard downward throws. Kind of useless. The bite is going to be excellent, and there's no scales to loosen, so that was just going through the motions. So far, I have to say I like this knife. In a throwing knife, and I mentioned it in the first video, I just wish it wasn't so tapered here because it does tend to roll off the hand, which can change your throw. So you really have to concentrate when you're letting it go to just let it go straight. But again, go see. I'll also add the part 1 video to this. So if you missed it or if you're interested, you can see the throwing capabilities of this knife. Let's see if it can cut a 1/2 inch nylon rope, and this is completely saturated. Okay, so on a push cut, no way in hell. On a saw cut, no way in hell. However, we do have an extension cord, and I have no doubt. Wow, that actually was a lot harder than I thought to get through, but it did get through. I gave it a really short swing to begin with because it's a nice big heavy knife, so I thought it would. But the edge isn't very sharp. It's sharp, like enough to where I could stick it through a tire, right? I could stick it through a tire. I could stick it through some leather. But that's the tip. That's what the tip is made for. We're going to go find some better stuff to play with. But first, what we're going to do is we're going to see if we can't do a little stick chop And yeah, so the fact that it's still a big kind of, you know, heavy buoy means you're still going to be able to do things like that with it. We're still going to have a fair amount of ability to chop. Is it going to be able to skin and things like that? No, and I haven't even tried yet. But I can tell you just by understanding the knife, the plastic stuff, I'm not going to be able to. I'm barely putting a mark on it. There we go. That was, I think, more of a rip than anything. But you can see right here is where the blade is hitting, and there's nothing. Now I'm pushing on this. This stuff is a plastic mesh, and it is really good for this kind of test. And this thing is doing nothing to it. Let's see if the edge is good enough to take some soccer ball. And yeah, look at that. So you can see that it actually does have an edge. It will cut, and this can be like a fighting style knife, right? It can be like a fighting weapon. But it's a thrower. It's a thrower by far and away. It's a thrower. Don't know what them damn dogs are doing, but can we use it to do things like chop? Let's find out. Let's come over to this log. We got logs everywhere because trees fall and they don't pick themselves up. All right, so we got this guy right here. Just make sure you guys are nice and steady. Which is not okay. Here we go. All right. So I can tell you right away, because there's no scales, chopping, I am getting vibrations through the hand. This little tapered edge right here is tearing me up. As a matter of fact, let's try it without anything on my hands and see if that was part of it. Nope, it's just tearing me up. So, man, chopping, look at that. Look at these marks. Chopping with this knife, can you do it? Yeah. Does it hurt? Freaking yeah, that hurts like hell. So I wouldn't recommend it. Let's see if we can take a branch down, or a piece of a branch, on just a little swing here. It wasn't clean, but it got through, and even just that, I could feel on this finger. You see that scrape? I can feel that really, really bad. So what about if you don't have to chop? What if there's some wood already on the ground? Well, that would make life a whole lot easier. So let's go and we'll do a little batoning. I don't know what happened. It just shut off on you guys. We're on our way to test it as far as like batoning and feather sticking, things like that. What if, can you still do that? Can you still? That's good English, guys. All right, so let's see. Now, I don't have too much good stuff to baton. I cannot speak to baton here, but we're gonna try anyway. There we go. This one's a good piece. Right through a knot. That's good. Let's see if there's any warping. No, feels pretty good from there. And you can see that's a nice piece of wood. Right here is a little wet, but the rest of it's pretty good. So, can we baton? If need be, if all of a sudden you're stuck and this is what you have, can you get kindling out of this thing? Absolutely. That's not so bad right there. And I know it'll take an edge. If I bring it downstairs and give it a good sharpen, I guarantee we'll be able to put an edge on this thing. That's not even a question. So let's see. What kind of edge did it come with? It came with a feather sticking edge. So that right there, I can definitely get curls without a doubt. Without a doubt. That was actually pretty easy. See what we can get here, if we can make any kind of nest. They're falling off. I'm getting some short curls, but because the edge geometry isn't really uniform, what it's doing is it's kicking and sliding. So it's giving me a different rub every time I go. Now, if I hold it all in the same place, they're falling off really nice. So if I collect off the ground, these are really nice. So it's all coming right here, which is actually a good thing. But the reason it's hard to keep on the stick is just because of the edge geometry. So it's just making it kick all over the place. And I can feel it when I try to do a pull. It just gives me like this grind in steps, right? So as far as feathering, Can it feather? Yep, it can feather. Is it great for it? Nope. But the question is, can you still knife with this knife? If I had a pair of gloves on, could I chop with it? Yes. If I put an edge on it, would this be better? Yes. That means when all's said and done, this throwing knife can knife, right? It's batoning and not warping. It's chopping, and while it's hurting to chop, it's still doing it. It's still doing it. So, I mean, so far it's a knife. Let's get over here. So now that we all know that, let's come over to my spot. Let's see if this is the same spot I was throwing. There we go. I was throwing some hawks yesterday. I had some people over, and we were doing some axe throws and whatnot. So I changed my mark for hawks, and now I put it back. But let's see if I don't hit my hat this time. Oh, that was a good throw. It was actually a really good throw. The thing sticks all the time. That one hit right here, and that flaky stuff. But it's a pretty easy throwing knife when you get it around right. And you can see it's just a really, really good throwing knife. And I said I wasn't going to throw in this one, but come on, man. Come on, man. I threw a steak knife and a butter knife on video. You know I'm going to throw this thing. All right, I see one dog. Gonna find the other one. All right, so that's it. So the question was, can this knife still knife? And the answer is yes. Yes, it can. Is it a great knife to knife with? The answer is no. If I put an edge on it, would be better than it is now? Yes. So you see where we're going. However, if you're going to buy this thing, you're going to buy it because it's a throwing knife, and you're going to throw the crap out of it, and you're going to be very happy. So with that said, that is it for this one. That is part 2 on the Hibben. Great thrower. Okay knife. Still worth buying. I honestly believe that. I think that anybody who likes to throw, even recreationally, would have a good time with this knife. It's really, really a fun knife to chuck. So, that's it for this one. I am Donnie B all day. Until next knife.